Yo, what's going on, guys? Just here back at again with another reaction. Today we're reacting to Linkin Park's Dedicated. This was a request. It's the demo version from 1999. This is my first time listening to this song, so this is my first reaction. Yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I have a dream of a scene between the green hills. Clouds pull away and the sunlight's revealed. People don't talk about keeping it real. It's understood that they actually will. An intoxicated and stimulated MC staring in the trees, paranoid, on in the breeze. Watch them flee. Hip-hop heads take a walk with me, and what you'll see is a land where the sand's made of crushed up wax. And the sky beyond you is Krylon blue. And everybody speaks in a dialect of rhyme. MCs have left materialism behind them. Meanwhile, I just grip my mic and hope me and my team make it through alright. Because say what you will and say what you might, but don't ignore who it's for at the end of the night. Because this is dedicated to the kids, dedicated to wherever music lives, dedicated to those tired of the same old same, and dedicated to the people advancing the game. What's real? It's the kids who know that something's wrong. It's the kids who think they don't belong. It's the kids who have nowhere to run, who are hiding in the shadows waiting for the sun. I've seen a lot of I've talked to a bum out on Sunset Strip. He asked me how would you feel if everybody acted like you didn't exist. You'd lose your grip, probably eventually flip. So let it be known, the only reason that we do this so you can pick it up and just bang your head to it. While MCs fight to see who could be the commonest, we float overhead like a space odyssey monolith. Overseeing the game, over being part of the same old thing. It's all gonna change in a hurricane of darkness and pain, in acidic rain and promises you won't do it again. Meanwhile, I just grip my mic and hope me and my team make it through alright. Because say what you will and say what you might, but don't ignore who it's for at the end of the night. Because this is dedicated to the kids, dedicated to wherever music lives, dedicated to those tired of the same old same, and dedicated to the people advancing the game. What's real? It's the kids who know that something's wrong. It's the kids who think they don't belong. It's the kids who have nowhere to run, who are hiding in the shadows waiting for the sun. Pulling me close, the shadow is warm inside. This is where I feel at home, this is my place to hide. Pulling me close, the shadow is warm inside. This is where I feel at home, this is my place to hide. This is dedicated to the kids, dedicated to wherever music lives, dedicated to those tired of the same old same, and dedicated to the people advancing the game. What's real? It's the kids who know that something's wrong. It's the kids who think they don't belong. It's the kids who have nowhere to run, who are hiding in the shadows waiting for the sun. This is dedicated to the kids, dedicated to wherever music lives, dedicated to those tired of the same old same, and dedicated to the people advancing the game. What's real? Everybody who doesn't feel safe, everybody who knows they're out of place, anybody with nowhere to run, who hides in the shadows waiting for the sun.
Alright, so that was Linkin Park's Dedicated. I'm going to just react to that again, but this time I'm going to really focus on the lyrics. And yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I have a dream of a scene between the green hills.
Dream of a scene between the green hills, cloud up full of rain, sunset revealed. People don't talk about people in real, it's understood that they actually will. Now, I had a dream, obviously, a very powerful catchphrase. Sorry. Anyway, I had a dream is obviously a very powerful phrase. The dream of the scene between the green hills, clouded pulls away, sunlight reveals. Now, obviously, that means on the green hills, he sees the sunlight. He sees a place that is filled with rich gold of the dream. Really, people don't talk about it, keeping it real. Talk about keeping it real. Actually, it's understood that they actually will. And again, people don't talk about what they're going to do, but it's understood that that's what they should do. Again, it's almost like a paradox in its way of that. It's understood that everyone should follow the rules, but nobody really says follow the rules. It's kind of like that, you know what I mean? And I think that in real life you really should be talking about stuff like this, you know what I mean? You should be saying that, people don't talk about keeping it real. It's understood that they actually will. People really should be talking about what should be kept real, it's understood that the actual, you should never assume stuff, assuming stuff makes an ass of you and me, right? Um, and I think that's really is a problem. I mean, a lot of societies is that there's a lot of assumptions made of like of the future that's yet to be known, and really you can make your own future. You know what I mean? So don't leave it up to the fates of the universe. Take it by the what's it called, the balls, you know, pull it down the curtain. Sounds weird. But anyways, continue. Let's see what else.
Hills, clouds actually will. And intoxicated.
Intoxicated stimulants, MCs, staring in the trees, paranoid are gone in the breeze. Watch some free hip hop hits. Take a walk with me and see what you'll see. And again, this is about people that really are not talking about anything when they are MCs or, as I say, rappers. I'd say MCs really. Anyway, yeah, like there's a lot of how many fake MCs out there. It's a Buckley lyric, but yeah, there's a lot of people that just talk about really this of like being on drugs, being in the club, being being strong or being very dominant, but really that's not what's real. Those are not values that are really needed in a lot of lives. The values that are needed in a lot of lives are honesty and a lot of courage, and a lot of love. Really, people don't talk about. They want to give this front of a personality that I'm strong. I don't need to say this. I don't need to do this. But really, you should really say how you're feeling. You should really say if you're hurt. You should really say if you're in pain. And again, a lot of people, on drugs, especially when it comes to finding that perfect lyric, But again, as long as it doesn't become like a very habitual instance where you're just constantly relying on the drugs to find this, nirvana in the sense of lyrics, I don't think it really doesn't matter. But let's continue. Land where the land sound made up of crushed wax, the sky is made beyond you. We're speaking dialect of rhyme, and MCs have less materialism behind. I think this is really hope. I think, and he says that everyone speaking in a different dialect of rhyme. The hope that one day everyone will be able to say what they feel inside, the emotions they've kept inside for so long. They're able to, really express themselves in an honest way. And everyone has their own way of expressing honesty. And I think, the dialect of rhyme is really the dialect of the truth. Really, what is your truth? How do you say your truth? What is your truth? You know what I mean? And MCs have left material behind. Again, the dream of leaving behind the aspirations for materialism, and dream of a place with more emotional materialism. The more emotional expression you have, the more emotional money, in a sense. That you're able to buy the happiness that you really want with the honest emotions that you have inside. I give my MCs and help me and my team make it through it all right. Let's say what you will and say what you might, but don't ignore who's in it at the end of the night. Again, this is just another instance of him saying that the real MCs or the real people will be able to hold on even through all the bullshit that's going on, and then at one point it'll just be the real people left, because this is dedicated to kids, dedicated to wherever musical is, dedicated to those same old, and dedicated to people interacting in the game. Again, this is really, dedication, as I said, to the future. And anyway, not only to the future, but, to people who have it in them to make that change. And again, change comes to those who want it. It doesn't just come. Okay, what's real as a kid is doing something wrong? What's real as a kid is something they do wrong? What's real as a kid who have nowhere to run or hiding in waiting shadows for the sun? Again, this is just a metaphor of people that really don't have a place to shine, literally, and they're just waiting for the sun so that they can really show who they are. And then sometimes it's rapping wise or lyrically, but sometimes it's emotionally able to, be honest with someone. I said, I was talking to a farmer or some such, and he asked me how would you feel like you don't exist. He lose the grip, probably eventually flip. Again, that really is just, yeah, literally is exactly it. If everybody acted like you didn't exist, and again, in a lot of ways, there's a lot of times where people feel like they don't exist, and if you think about it, they're really almost making themselves invisible to a mirror. You know what I mean? And I think that's really the worst way of looking at things is that a mirror really reflects who you are, reflects it reflects who you are, and if everyone acted like you didn't exist, again, you should never act like you don't exist yourself. I think that's really the worst case scenario. Is like everyone can act like you don't exist, but if you act like you don't exist, that's when you really start losing your mind because then you're like, what's the purpose of being an existential being because there's no living if there's no seeing, you know? Anyway, let's continue. So let me know on the reasons. MC's fight to see who can call us before them overhead like Space Odyssey. No, I've never watched Space Odyssey, so I really don't know what that meant. So I'm gonna go and keep moving on. Let's see. It's all gonna change in Hurricane and Dark Pass. Acid Rain, Nether, this is really just about using drugs again. The promise of tomorrow doesn't come till tomorrow. You know what I mean? Good, make a team again. Same. All right. All right. So that's basically the whole song. Anyway, so Linkin Park's dedicated is really about a future that's yet to come, but a dream that's always in our hearts. Be honest. Care, love, no fighting. Just a basic human dream that everyone should have, right? But it's really hard to dream when you have no nighttime. You know what I mean? Always in the spotlight. But yeah, what do you guys think? You guys enjoy this song as much as I did? If so, let me know. If not, tell me what. Feel like I'm subscribing below, just